Hello, folks.
Hello out there, youngins. Yeah,
Youngins.
yo, youngins out there today. Yo, kicking it back.
Glad you guys are with us. Hope you can see us and hear us clearly. And we
Give
are
us a
the
thumbs up now if you can hear us
Sawyers.
good.
We are the Sawyers. Let us know if you can hear
Yeah.
and see us good. I sound like I'm getting hoarse. Anyway, it's good to have you guys with us. And let's see who came in first today. There's my sissy and brother-in-law. Hey, y'all. Hope you had a good day at work today and you didn't get too stressed out. Gotta stay. Gotta stay in peace. Gotta stay in peace. Hello there, James Dixon. I hope you and Kelly are feeling okay and you're doing okay and you're over your bruises and your scrapes and scratches.
NAM.
Why do you always jump ahead? There you go.
I'm right there with
There's
you.
Linda Langdon.
Oh,
Hey, Linda. I'm glad you're here, sweetie
Miss
pie.
Linda.
And there's Pastor Norman, which you were getting ready to say.
Norman J. Hickbar.
Thanks, Norman, for letting us know you can hear us, see us good.
Hickbar Jr.
And there's the Dee Dee and the George. How you guys
That's
doing?
my shotgun buddy.
I gotta think of something y'all can go get for me.
Uh-oh.
They're always getting something for you. I want to get something for me. I can't never think of that when I got them around me, though. They keep telling me, just tell me what it is. Hey, Brother Kessler, I'm glad you're
Mr.
here
Kessler,
tonight.
good to see you out there, man.
Yeah. And then, hey, Deb.
Miss Deb.
Miss Deb.
And
let's see who else is here. There's KK. Listen, I'm glad you guys are with us tonight. Good times. Good times.
KK Lewis.
Good times. Look, Dee Dee said, okay, let her know. Yeah, I just need to let you know what I want. I just can never think about it.
All I need is bring my ink pen.
You don't need anything.
I need ink pen.
You don't need anything.
Ink pen with George's name on it so I can write him on paper. I need to write his rights.
You need to write his rights. Yeah, thank you, Sissy. Rights. Thank you, sweetie pie. I hope y'all had a good day at work. Those of you who work outside of your homes, and I hope you had a good day. Period. We've had a pretty good day, haven't we? Pretty good day. What? Why are you looking like that?
I had a pretty good day too.
I guess you did. Did you?
Let me think about it.
You haven't said anything to me about not having a good day.
Well, you just never asked me.
Well, I'm asking you now. Did you have a good day?
I got a secret.
Oh, good grief.
I'll let you know later.
Anyway. Hey, Jill.
Hey.
How you, darling?
How you doing out there?
All right. Listen. Let's jump in. You ready to jump in?
Okay, here we go.
We're gonna jump in. Let's do our affirmation quickly. And then you got something you're gonna tell us about tonight. Let us know how you guys did. What did you think of Sunday's message or Sunday's session?
Yeah, kind of.
Give us a clue as to
wave out here. I'm sure you remember.
That is, if you remember it.
Yeah, I know you got to.
If you remember it, we were talking about you seeing on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
And how those kinds of things are wonders and signs which should follow us. And Pastor Norman said it was amazing.
Yeah. Did he say that?
And yeah, he gave us a call later that afternoon too, because there are so many things that we said. I don't even remember all that we said, and I should go back and look at the video, and that way I would know. But it kind of kicked off what I want to talk about tonight. A little bit.
Well, talk to me.
Are you going to go with me, or
I'm going with you? I'm sitting right here with you, baby girl.
All right. Well, let's
do it.
Let's do it. I'm going to do this first, and that's short and sweet. I'm going to do this. So if you're busy, I want you to take just a quick second to slow down and not do anything else. So let's just do this quick prayer and affirmation, okay? Now, you're going to stop rattling stuff over there.
Take all the way to
to
Jesus come.
He gets really busy when it's time to get quiet. Yeah. When it's time to get quiet.
I'm a businessman. Excuse me if you want to.
Okay. Anyway, let's center in. And while we're doing this, those of you who haven't responded besides Pastor Norman, let us know if you remember what we talked about on Sunday. Let us know what you thought of it, and if there was anything in particular that you got from it, or if there is a question regarding any of it. feel free to type that in and we'll try to address some of it. Okay? But in the meantime, I want you to take a moment to just gear down and forget about everything that happened today and even whatever may happen during this session. Okay? And we center in. We center in. We find the center, the God center in ourselves. And repeat after me. I give thanks to thee, O God, for my existence. I give thanks to thee, O God, for your presence. I give thanks to thee, O God, for this awareness, for the awareness of my existence. And I surrender the illusion of being a personal self. I surrender the illusion of being a personal self. And so it is. And so it is. Now, how do I want to do this?
Okay.
Let me put this up first.
Okay.
And then you can jump right on in.
Okay.
There are 5 distinct bodies, probably more, as regards our makeup as beings, light beings. There's the physical body. We know what that is. The mental body. We know what that is. The emotional body is the body that feels all of the experiences. And then there is the etheric body, which is the blueprint of the entire system of bodies. And then there is the Catholic body, which is the light body or spirit body. Now, there are some different versions of this. There's some who say there are 7 bodies, but I'm not going to go into all of that. I just wanted to bring out the fact that there is interfaced or in the same space in habits that you're inhabiting, there are at least 5 bodies, distinct bodies that is your human and spiritual makeup. And I wanted to bring that out first of all. Jill says, thank you, Jill, for responding. I know it takes a minute for you guys to think about what we said on Sunday. But listen, she says, I ended up dreaming about sitting with my sister in love at her funeral. It seemed as if we had both crossed over.
As you did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
you did.
Yes. And when you dream that, that's actually happening in an astral plane. So there is the realm of oneness, but then there are astral planes that a lot of us have visited as out-of-body experiences. Those planes where we are still a form are astral planes, and that is not the realm of oneness. However, some have visited actually the realm of oneness when they actually lost the form. Are you listening to me?
Mm-hmm.
Are you following me?
I got you.
You going with me?
I'm there.
Okay. Linda says, I got kicked off for unknown reason, but I'm back now. I had to catch up. Okay, Linda, we're still here, honey bun. So there's the 5 bodies that I'm mentioning tonight, and each one of those bodies has a function. So there's your spirit body or your light body. And we often talk about being light. I am light. But then there's the etheric body, which is the blueprint of all the bodies. Mm-hmm. We had a nurse to come and visit us years ago. This is way back when we were when we lived in Winston.
Yeah.
She had a healing ministry, remember?
Yeah, go
She
ahead.
would
I
she
seen
would
that.
heal people, and she said to us that night when she was with us that a lot of times what she does is she goes to the etheric body or the etheric body which is the blueprint. And she said a lot of times she goes in there and she corrects whatever's wrong in that body, and it changes the physical body.
Wow.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Hmm. Now, physics says that the universe operates in at least 10 dimensions. So there are so many dimensions that any of us can be in or experience, go to, or be aware of. So now, talking about you, young man,
Yes, ma'am.
and seeing
Call
into
me
the
young man.
young man, yeah, you like that, don't you, young man? And seeing into the other side, people who are living and who are not in this earth plane, people who have crossed over and who are still in this earth plane. There's a realm. I wrote it on my note here. Let's see if I can find it. About there's a plane of existence where you can visit people who are still alive here on the earth in that dimension, and there are people who are not on earth who are in that dimension. And sometimes it looks like they've already crossed over and they haven't. But there are those who have crossed over. So I don't know why I'm saying all that, but I just wanted to bring that out. And what are you thinking? You frowned up a little bit.
I saw a boxing match, and it's like Mike Tyson, a guy like him, hit his opponent. He didn't get started. You know, where the guy hit his opponent so hard, I expect it made him see water going up a hill. And when he knocked him down, he got up and fell out again. When he got up the second time, he didn't hit him one time. And he got up and the referee was trying to give him a count. He wanted to box the referee. He wanted to box the referee. Hey, I'm saying that to say to you guys, your eternal self, the eternal essence, before a leg, hand, I bet, the download, Lord have mercy, the download of all of the pressures that has come upon us through our sacred contracts from many, many lifetimes or many illusions that we are separated from God. Your CPA accountant will take everything from the whoopings you got from your parent with a drop card, that when you walk past the wall plug, you jumped. Everything is tallied up through pressure, even to the turning the knob at the door is being used right now as a qualification for you to have the manifestations of God exposing to us the birth of Christ coming forth through pain and suffering, not to be a distraction, but to be an asset to each one of us in oneness with God.
That's the longest sentence.
I know it, baby.
But I want to ask you this. You look like you're reading that. How is that information coming into you?
I have always wanted to have sermons to get ready and prepare for the speaking engagements.
Mm-hmm.
When I started out, my knees knocked so much to where I thought somebody was knocking on an invisible door. And as I got more into it, I found out that the calling of God is the experiences of life. And I found out how to use these broken places and disappointments. Now, if you think about this, all of you think about this, some of you been through some very hard things, rough things, and they ought to be used as kindling.
Now, yeah, and that's true. I know, but you kind of avoided my question.
I'm coming into it now.
How are you receiving the information that you're mystically speaking? And I want to say that because it's not coming from the intellect. I know that. That I know. How are you receiving the download? Are you actually seeing? Or are you just, what are you doing?
I can talk to anybody. Sometimes I might feel it coming. I might. I'm set that when I'm talking to you, I'm listening to the inner as well as the outward, and I'm focused like I'm looking now. I'm looking at it now. It looks like I'm looking at the wall.
You look like you're reading.
When Laverne was over here,
she did the same thing.
She was doing that in order to answer. And to answer the question, when you do that, when you and your sister get together, y'all go to talking.
So you're talking
and
about,
I'll be talking to you, and y'all don't hear nothing.
How we assess.
Yeah.
So we're assessing information from some dimension, aren't we?
Okay. Here's what happened. When I get ready to make a toy, I'll look at what I want to make, but it has to come through a desire of inspiration.
Okay.
Yes, if I want, I've seen some big earth movers, and I said I would like to make this, and then pretty soon, if I mess with it long enough, I'll be out there in the garage making it.
Right.
But the image of it is right there where I can see it. Now I may take and incubate by looking at videos or pictures or models.
Right.
And when I do that, I don't need anything else but putting it together from what I see.
So what you're saying in all of that is that you have an internal movie theater, and you're utilizing
holographic.
You're utilizing that to assess information that may not even be remembered by the mind.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? And I wanted to answer something Linda brought up.
Okay.
She said, are dimensions the same as different energy frequencies? You may have a different answer. I'm going to respond to her this way. Every dimension has its own distinct energy frequencies. Depending on which dimension you become aware of, there will be different energies that you'll become aware of or be exposed to. Yeah.
Just stand in front of people and talk about something. I've been in front of in auditoriums, and you just as an example. And sometimes I'll be looking for what to say. Now here's what I do: I'll look out in the audience, and a certain area out there I'll be looking at, and I might get up and talk and just start. First thing, all I need to do is start.
Yeah.
Unless I have something. But when I say start, it's like. We found out in our investigation into the fivefold ministry in the box of the prophetic or the eyes the knobby mean gushing forth or speaking out of
which is the opposite of the seer.
Yeah. And all I have to do is meet you, see you.
And it's triggered.
And
it's triggered.
Yeah, it's triggered. I mean, I'm on. It's like for so many years, I found the switch.
Okay.
And I never turned it off.
Right. And the only reason I'm asking you, it's kind of like an interview for you.
Yeah.
is that, like on Sunday when we were talking about your particular gifting of seeing loved ones who have crossed over, that is a gifting. However, that gifting matches your purpose.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
you have that because it's your purpose in this earth. And we said that now that's why you're here.
You ever hear people say, "I never meet a stranger"?
Yeah, you don't really. That's true. So so your gifting matches your purpose, and your purpose matches your temperament.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because that's what I see happening with you. And I think that probably is evidence of what happens to all of us, that our purpose matches whatever giftings we have. In other words, whatever abilities, skills, things that we are able to do well, those things that we don't have to really forcefully put effort into, those things match our temperaments and what we're here on this earth for. And now, so it's not like I've got to try to be like you, or you like me. Yeah. It's not like that. And but if I stay with you long enough, that innate ability will open up that and instigate that and activate that inside of me.
That's right.
Right? Because that's what happened in the Old Testament when anybody hung around the school of prophets, or the company of prophets, they began to prophesy. So it's the same thing. So you have innate abilities that match whatever temperament you are. They're custom designed.
It'd be like you when we all started driving a car, we were uptight. Yeah. And we was trying to drive the car instead of allowing it to go, but turning it. So me sitting here talking to you guys now, I don't have to contemplate to you what I'm going to say.
No.
Just like what I just
said. And you don't intellectually put it together, even though you use your brain, you use your mind, but it's not leading you.
Okay.
It's not. Okay. You're not led by the brain.
What I used to do, and I didn't know it was going to be used now, 50 years later, I used to watch television and watch the Shell gas commercial, and this man would go up through the floor like he's in a tower. Yeah. And the station called on the television. I could sit there and tune my ears into what the person was saying at the same time saying it when they see it. And so another thing that is got me going like this is I've always wanted to, after I found out who Jesus was, who Christ was, I've always wanted to hear him. So what has happened is my middle ear is tuned in to saying, say, seeing, see, hearing, see, hear, taste, feeling, knowing.
Yes, and I want to say this, and a lot of you have heard us say this before, but we talked about mastering that inner self or that hidden self, mastering your inner man, the inner man, and that, I think, over the years is what you've done. You've trained and practiced by going in the closet and by doing certain things, exercises that you do that nobody else maybe even know.
Right.
That has actually caused you to be able to assess from a realm or a dimension information that everybody else is not consciously aware of.
In school, I didn't have much to say because of insecurities, and I didn't think I was material that like the other kids. I mean, I talked to them when I was at home or on the area, but since I got a lot of things have changed since we've been together in this talk. Now, if you were to say bring up any subject, I'll listen to you or see what you're going to say, and then I might just go right into it right away and talk to you, or I might just say, I may not say anything.
Might not say anything,
but
right.
I've always, when I'm out, I pass people in the store, and I pick up their presents before I get to them, and I might say, it's kind of cold outdoors, isn't it?
And the reason I'm even dealing with this at
Yeah.
all or talking
Mhm.
about it is because in the realm of the mystic,
Mhm.
that mystics live in a place that's very mysterious.
Yes,
And
so.
like we said on Sunday, they become an oddity, kind
Yeah.
of like I said, like the bearded lady in the circus.
Okay.
They become an oddity to people because they're so unique.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and I have to say that is about you, but I do believe every last one of you guys that are listening to us and feel like the message that we have resonates with you, you are also mystics. Maybe not in the same sense that he is
Mhm.
or that I am, but
Mhm.
you are mystics. If you were
Mhm.
not mystics, you couldn't even listen to this message.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
wouldn't even appeal to you.
That's true. That's true.
I want to read a scripture, if I
Yeah, go ahead.
may.
Go
And
ahead.
this is in Ephesians 3, and it's the prayer of Paul. I think it was Paul that he prayed. He says, "For this cause I bow my knees unto the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, of whom the whole family in heaven and earth is named, that he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened with might by his Spirit in
Mhm.
the inner man."
Mm.
In the inner man, that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that you, being rooted and grounded in love, may be able, now this is the key, may be able to comprehend with all saints what is the breadth,
Mhm.
length,
Mhm.
depth, and height. So he's talking about dimensions.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that is still the dimensions of this three-dimensional world that we live in, which is uh length, width, depth, and breadth means height.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so here we are, we're talking about different dimensions. And he says, and to know the love of Christ, which passes
Mhm.
knowledge, passes knowledge,
Mhm. Mhm.
that you might be filled with all the fullness of God. And then he says this, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh not in God,
Mhm.
but in us.
Mhm.
There is a power in us
Yeah.
that is able to answer every prayer before we even ask it or think it.
Right.
Isn't
Right.
that amazing?
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, it is a wonderful experience that you ask the question, and inside of the question is the answer.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, when I get ready to do anything, I oh gosh, it is a want for words.
Well, look, while you're thinking,
Hmm.
can I mention what Carolyn? Hey, Carolyn, I'm glad you're here, sweetie. She says, "Hello, arthritis in my left hip is trying to steal my joy and my bliss." Carolyn Steele.
Okay, go ahead.
But no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Hallelujah. Thanks for being here now. Yes. And he's dealing with the same thing, Carolyn, in his left hip,
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
way.
right here.
Yes, in his left hip, by the
My
way.
hip is your hip.
So nothing is able to steal your joy or your bliss unless you place your attention on that you feel like you're lacking or missing. Now, and it's interesting that it says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, but it didn't say no weapon would be formed.
Okay, okay, okay. Here, um, I go to the doctor. He asks me questions, and sometimes I don't know the answer. I get close to it as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to the wife read, Miss Steele, your comment here.
Mm-hmm.
I used to would try to put up a front in front of people. If I had something wrong, I try to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
see it in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, the wheel kept turning, and I kept getting squares on the wheel, and it wasn't round. And I just got tired of trying to confess something.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor asked me, said, "Are you taking your blood pill?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "How about you?" You know, I've always after this did not take place in this life over here until after I became secure in the fact. All right, here comes
Mm-hmm.
secure in the
Mm-hmm.
fact of where God's geographical location was.
And that had to be
That had to
settled
be settled.
and
That
fixed.
right now,
Yes.
I am
Settled
not at
and
want for
fixed.
words or at want to say something to you. I'll find anything I can good about you, or something wonderful about you. And like I was in the substation yesterday, and the lady was behind me, and I was willing to step out of the way and let her come in front of me, even though I had placed my order and they were getting it ready. But when I started out the door, I said, I want to tell her something good.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked up to her and I said, I can see him in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
I say, and she looked at me. I said, you know who him is, don't you? She said, the man upstairs.
That's usually
That's
what
the way
we
they do,
think.
man
Yeah.
upstairs.
That's
Now,
what we think. Yeah.
now, if any of you guys were to say, Sawyer, I want you to come to my house. I'm gonna have about 15 people there. I want you to come and talk to them. Okay, I'll come, and I'll come in the door, and the first thing I say to them, I don't think about it. I don't contemplate about it. All I do is come in. Hello, everybody. How you doing? I could do that here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I used to have people would call me, and I'd be on the phone, and I tell them, I said, I want you to do something right quick. I said, sit down in a straight chair and put your legs straight out in front of you, and see if you can tell which leg is longer or shorter than the other. And they sit there. I said, oh, you got it? Now, when I tell them, if I see a picture of them in my mind in the movie screen inside,
Mm-hmm.
I said, are you ready? I said, which one of the legs are shorter than the other? They say the left or the right. And I said, sit still, just relax. And I would speak to. Now, this is something that I like to do.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
And I said, watch it. I said, I command your leg that seemed to be shorter than the other to grow out even.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I say one thing, it triggers another. It links. My words link.
So that goes back to what we said on Sunday
Mm-hmm.
when we created the lemon.
Mm-hmm.
We used our own chamber of imagery,
Mm-hmm.
our own internal movie screen to create a lemon
Mm-hmm.
in our hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you said to cut that lemon and you could taste the
I can see
juice
it now.
and smell the juice.
Mm-hmm.
Smell
Get
it.
into it. I'm seeing it.
That lemon is
Mm-hmm.
actually created the moment we envision that.
Right.
Yes. So what you saying just now is you envision certain
Mm-hmm.
things and then it's real.
But I found
And
out.
it's not.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
it
right.
is actually real.
One thing I have found out how to do is have fun with people.
Yeah.
To have
Yeah.
to know how to talk and to
Right.
meet people and say.
And that again is your temperament.
Yeah, I say good morning.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't always like that.
So no, you haven't always been that way.
No.
But now you're free. So in
Mm-hmm.
your freedom, the real you, the authentic you comes forth.
Yeah.
And that you've been suppressing and trying to mold into another image goes away. Once
Mm-hmm.
the freedom of seeing who you truly are happens, you become very authentic. And that's what you did.
Now you remember when we met, I didn't have very much to say to you.
You didn't talk a lot.
No, I
until
didn't.
you got drunk. And then you talked a whole lot.
Ooh, there she go again, y'all. She nasty. She's just so nasty. She sit there right on the television, right on the screen, until I got drunk. Oh, she had to tell my secret. So you saying I'll talk now because I'm drunk?
I don't know. You're free. I'm just gonna say you're free. You are free.
Yeah, really.
That's that is true because a lot of times we try to put forth an image, and that's not who we truly are.
Yeah.
And so, or it could be that you have certain issues that you need to be healed of. But when freedom comes, or freedom happens, or freedom is, and you made aware of your freedom, then all of a sudden that you were holding back because of is gone.
Yeah. Now, if I'm talking to you and all of a sudden I see something, I would say, I want to tell you something. I paraphrase it. Like for instance, I go in the bank and I'm talking to the teller, and I said, "Good morning. How you guys doing? Have a good weekend." I'm listening.
Yeah.
To the next possible word I can say to them that would actually allow them to be expressed in a way that I can carry on a conversation with him. And in the midst of that conversation, there are a lot of people who want to talk to me because they know if I go to talking to them, something is going to come up. So I'm in practice. My old mentors used to tell me, say, God don't talk all the time. Well, okay. I took that, and
that's true. He does, but he doesn't. Yeah.
So actually, I actually, when I look at somebody's name, like I'm looking at some of your names on here now, your name carries with it to me a certain temperament, a smell, a flavor, or when I say it, it says something to my inner self, and I respond to it.
Now, we also talked about this just this afternoon. How that there is the realm of oneness.
Yeah.
In the realm of oneness, or the dimension of oneness, you will hear spiritual teachers talking about no self. There is no me. We've even said it. The realm of non-duality, where there's not two. The realm of the non-doer. That means there is no one here doing. It's just something being done. It's just being done. We're just being done. We're not contemplating what we're going to do. It's just being done. And so the doer is God himself. But we are no longer here as a self doing. And so that's the realm of oneness.
Okay.
And that's what spiritual teachers, non-dual teachers teach. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at some of the comments there.
Yeah. Linda says this. She says, consciousness is the one and only reality. It is the first and only cause of substance of the phenomena of life. Yes. Yes. And a lot of people don't even know what that means. That's, we hear the words, but we don't know what that means. Consciousness is the one and only. We don't really know what it means to be conscious, and that consciousness, the awareness of being aware is what consciousness is.
Another thing I would say to you, if you were in my presence and you would ask me questions like, how do I do such and such a thing? Or if you would ask me, how do I make toys?
Oh, I know how you do that.
How do I?
I know how you do it.
How?
You incubate it. You look at that toy forever. Months, weeks, and you study it. You look at the toy, you look at the real thing, you go wherever it is, and you look at it, and you look at it, and you look at it until you actually have the imprint of that thing in your soul. And then you go in the shop and you start creating it.
Yeah.
Without any paper or measurement. I won't say without paper, because sometimes you'll doodle on paper what you see inside yourself. So yeah, I know how you do it.
Now, with people, I remember seeing Jesus every time I saw him. I would look at his feet.
Yeah. Can we use that same mechanism to work miracles in our own life?
Yeah. I heard Aaron Ebke, that's his name.
Aaron Ebke.
I looked at him. He was talking about oneness, union with God, oneness, and Jesus and the miraculous. And one of the things that he said was Jesus was fully aware of who he was in his true identity and one with the Father. That had to be settled. So when I started studying into how the manifestation of the Spirit worked, I was around a lot of people. I looked at them and I picked up the way they did it and the way and I was able to look at them doing things before they say it. And I don't know what you call it, whatever you call this, but I've done it for so long.
It's hard to say how.
It's hard to say. I used to could say to you in a class that you do this, but it's kind of like life becomes a substance of interest.
It's like the person who's been walking all their life, and all of a sudden they have an accident where they no longer can walk. When they get back up to do rehabilitation, they have to learn how to walk all over again.
Now, when I heard about Jesus Christ and one with us, and that started some years ago, way back.
Yeah, it did. It did.
I began to study.
And that came because of some of the spiritual experiences that you and I both had.
Okay. Everything that has ever happened to me and I talk to you guys, I'm using vision, feel, sense, sight, knowing, and I don't. And one thing, when I found out there was 7 or 8 energy centers, it was grafted into me what each one of those energy centers are for. Now, I'm gonna let you know one of my secrets, okay? But it ain't no secret.
It's not a secret. Yeah.
Here's what I do. I know that in certain conversations, each one of these energy centers is activating something, and I could feel the intelligence of that energy center to a degree that I can actually um, feel or see, sense, or smell either what you've been doing, what you got into, and what you're getting ready to do. But I had to have an interest. My wife said I'm nosy.
Yes,
but that could have something to do with it.
Yes, that's
A
part
tractor
of your...
trailer I could pass it on the highway, and all of a sudden my attention go to the wheels on the trailer or the tractor that's pulling the trailer, and I can tell uh, by the way the wheels are rolling whether it is loaded, fully loaded, half loaded. The weight of it is something about the tires that I pick up in the sensing. So I found out that each one of these gates, here it comes now, each one of these gates are doors, and I deliberately go inside in awareness. I look at each door and I see if it smells. Like, for instance, baby girl, when she come in that day, and I was, see, that she is now. She come up right here, and she'll come over and she'll use her nose to locate things. What I use to locate things is the fact that I am one with them and know all things like Jesus.
I started to say your nose, but yeah, right.
My nose. But this baby girl that's right here.
But in the scriptures in Revelation, and I don't know where the scripture is exactly, but I've read it before, that what is, it talks about an open heaven.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so as a mystic or mystical people, which you are, you live under an open heaven, which means there are spiritual phenomena that you may experience more so than the average person. In your dreams, in your intuition, just you'll have multiple experiences. And that's why there's a need for being grounded and not get spooky spiritual. You know what I mean? Yeah. Spooky spiritual, because there are so many phenomena that you may be exposed to.
Now, when I look at Jesus and I look at any part of him, I can hear it and feel it talking to me from inside. But the development of communication skills is another way.
Again, I wanted to say that the only reason I'm mentioning these things at all is because all of us have some giftings. We may not know what it is. We may not know what our specific giftings are, but whatever they are, they're geared and custom to your purpose and to your temperament. So we will not ever be cloned.
Another thing that I didn't know till after I got into this, you can be trained how to, when to, and what to.
Yes, you can. And in fact, you can definitely train yourself to trust your intuition. And learn how to discern the different symbols, interpret the symbols that it gives you, because the subconscious communicates with images. That's why in the early primitive man, they didn't have words. They didn't use words. That came later, but they used hieroglyphics, which they drew pictures to and painted their stories.
Okay.
Because the subconscious uses images. And so your imagery is what makes things happen in your life, whether it be something you deliberately image or something that you're doing by default. I heard a man on one of the videos. We saw him the other night. He said, you can't say I'm want to go to Paris, but I can't afford it.
Okay.
Because you can say I want to go to Paris, and that's the vision. That's the vision. But when the minute you say, but I can't afford it, you just told yourself not to get it.
Okay.
You just canceled out the manifestation of it.
In the classes that we used to hold, I would line people up facing each other, and I would say, I want you to tell this person in front of you everything that you can think of
that's coming to you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you can think of, or what comes to you. Put it like that.
What's coming to you.
That would cause that person in front of you to know that God loves them, and there's no friction in the love of God, and tell them anything you want to about it's called edification.
Right. And I remember those sessions. And a lot of times somebody would say something that they felt like they desired for that person, or what they thought about that, or had a judgment about that person, and it wasn't even what they were what they were supposed, what was actually happening for that person at all.
Inside of us is a superstructure. You carry inside of you the full measurement of every building that has ever been structured in the earth. Okay, this is what gives me the freedom, because I found out the inexhaustible information reforming itself inside. So when I see you, that superstructure automatically, if it is necessary, or if I do or don't, I know that I've been given a freedom inside to talk to anybody from the essence of my true identity, as you would say, Spirit of God. And so now I see people that sometimes I see people and stay away from them, because I don't go there to talk.
Exactly.
I go to
and that's because
get something, pick up something. Go ahead.
And that's because you're aware of how the ego still wants to be special.
Yeah.
And now that's the one reason that if there is a prophetic word or an intuition about another person, or even world events or something that's happening in our day-to-day life, it cannot be connected to any opinion that you have. If it is an opinion that you have, then it will not be a true word.
That's right. You are the books of all of the sayings and the unsaying things of Christ.
The sayings and the unsayings.
You are the actual sayings of God.
Sayings and
built, structured, and made out of the Spirit. Eternal self is made out of everything Jesus said and anything that he didn't say. And your essence is made out of everything that you haven't said. There is not anything at all that your spirit identity is not capable of functioning in. Some people say in the book, say, I can do all things through Christ. Well, you can say it like this: I can do those things that are necessary, and those things that are not, I can leave them alone.
You can do all things through Christ, provided you've had the download to do that particular thing.
Well,
if that download has not come into you, you may do it and you may not.
Now, that sounds to me like if I wanted to do something, I got to first see if I got information on it, But no, here it is.
Yeah.
If I do that, I am referring back to the eternal hall of records inside of each one of us. Now, I used to go to churches and I would deliberately do things in practice to show people that God is still in communication with us. Yeah. But as time went on and as I matured, grow, I decided to listen more and I definitely don't like entering into people's space. If I do, I get right out of it. I walk up to somebody and they'll say, "How you doing, sir?" I say, "Doing fine." And I turn walk off and I say, "I think I'll go back and tell him something good."
Yeah.
One man in the restaurant, I said, I looked at him, hey, his eyes were the actual eyes of Jesus. I saw Jesus looking at me from inside the man. It didn't make any difference whether he was saved, know God or not, in the way I do. But I walked up to him. I said, "Sir, can I tell you something good?" He said, "Yeah, if it's good." I said, "I see the eyes of Jesus in your eyes looking out of you to me."
Now we've said a lot, so I
Mhm.
wanted to find out where you guys are. Are you with us? Are you hearing us? Are you?
Mhm.
Is it resonating with you? Let us know whether or not this is something that is of interest to you.
Mhm.
I know this is kind of
Different.
it's different
Mhm.
because we're discussing these different operations.
Mhm.
However, this is where you live, and I mean, you have these things happening to you, and so we wanted to
And you know,
discuss
some of
that.
you guys out there may not be interested in the workings in these particular areas, but I will
Right.
say this to you: the same function of Jesus Christ and any other being in the universe that has or is made out of the light love or the love of eternal essence,
Mm.
they have and they are the supernatural manifestation of compassion and love toward all men. Don't have to be with you, don't have to know you. On the many times I had it said to me, you will know everything that's going on in their life. And because of that, some people I hear things. I know I found out how to say it like this. I know when he's talking to me personally, and it's not just a jab of the mind. And I know exactly when he's telling me to tell somebody something or do something that they need help in. And a lot of times people think that when you do this, um, you got some special corner with God. No,
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 that
no, no,
again,
no.
it's customized to your
Yeah.
purpose,
Mm-hmm.
the purpose that you're here. And I want to make sure that you guys know that the only reason we bring it up about these different phenomena and operations of spirit is because you may not be interested in ministering to other people as you like to do,
Right.
but you're definitely interested in being able to change the illusion for your betterment and for your good to be manifested. And so these things work for you personally as
Mhm.
well as for other
Yeah.
people.
And so I used to want to be able to read the Bible and go back and quote everything out of each page.
Mhm. Well, now we're talking outside of the realm of oneness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because if we
Yeah.
go to the realm of oneness, everything's already
Yeah.
complete. And there
Um,
is nothing else to do.
when you go into this, you will automatically see what is real and what is not.
Mm-hmm.
Simply
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
every
Mm-hmm.
one of us,
Mm-hmm.
as essence,
Mm-hmm.
were and is
Mm-hmm.
one with the Father
Yes.
and each other. I give you an example. I often say when Jesus talked to the disciples and he talked to them about a little while, and he said, "I go to the Father." When he said, "I
Mm-hmm.
go to the Father," they wanted to know, how do you go there and you're still standing in front of us?
Right. Again,
Okay, here it comes.
again,
Go
that's
ahead.
that mystical
Yeah,
language.
yep, yep. That's
How is he
it.
traveling, but he's still standing
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do is, I'm gonna say it raw. You learn how to take the love of God and learn and love all the hell out of everything that you see. But here's another one. You will be tested because you'll run across somebody that you try to talk to. Like the man sitting behind me in the grocery line, and he didn't have a whole lot. I didn't either. But the compassion of God wanted me to let him come forward, and he said, "No, then I say sometimes I say the change that you give me, use it to pay for the person behind me.
Mhm.
And when I
it's
say
called,
that,
and the world calls it paying it forward.
yeah,
That's not
yeah,
that's not something out of the ordinary.
yeah, that's right.
You're paying forward,
That's right.
and by doing that, we're helping everybody. When you help yourself, you're helping everybody.
That's right. You've done unto them, you've done unto us or me.
Mhm.
So it is a wonderful experience, but here it is again. The pain and the hurt that comes with it is very there,
Now you
because
say pain and hurt.
when I say pain, you will all your mind will always tell you they don't pay you no attention or it's not necessary. And I don't go around knocking on people's doors or go to the store just to get a chance to talk to somebody. You know, the book said he went and the Spirit worked with him in the scripture.
Mhm.
I don't go just to see or hear what God may tell me about somebody. I just go, and if I do, I do it. And I don't like we used to a long time. I sit around. I don't sit around and say, "Dog, God was talking to me about that, and I didn't let him down. I didn't do what the Lord's will was." That's crazy. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Young folks do stuff like that.
Young folks.
Well, right. Well, you just you
well,
better be glad you just turned
well,
16.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
anyway,
But again, this isn't to really lift you up or,
no.
or magnify what you do. But I often use you as an example because a lot of us.
Well, 54 years, I guess so.
Because you are that oddity.
Yeah.
Not saying that's not a negative thing, but you are an oddity because you have learned to live in those between two worlds. And I won't say between two worlds. You have your feet in both worlds. I'll put it like that. And sometimes the other world is even more real to you, and it comes forth in when you're in your day-to-day life. So that's why I use you an example. Yeah. It's not so much to give you pats on the back or anything, but because of the mysticism, a lot of in Christianity, the church, the evangelical, Pentecostal, charismatic church is not used to mystical language. And mystics go beyond the principles. And I talked to Pastor Norman about this the other day. Mystics go beyond the principles of what most churches are preaching every service. And they're taking people into that realm of oneness. Jesus did it. When you read that scripture on Sunday about being one with the Father and the one. And so that is the focus that we have, is to bring you into oneness. If you're not already in it, we want to bring you into it. We just want to point you in the right direction.
He made a statement, "At that day you shall ask in my name, and I say not unto you that I will pray the Father for you."
Right.
Now, these are just words.
Yeah.
I will find any word that I can to make sure that you hear politeness, gratitude, and thank you. Now, there are times when I don't feel good. I don't feel like talking about the book.
Yeah, or about anything.
And people, a lady called me, like I said the other day, and was asking me about some things that she felt that people in the dark areas.
She needed counseling.
Yeah.
She needed
and
counseling.
I just talked to her straight down the middle of the road. But you guys, I hope I've said something to bring about a enlightenment awareness to you, because if you are fully awake,
well, if nothing
you will
else,
have some of these things to happen.
Yeah, if nothing else, it gives you an insight into our personal life and how we live day to day. And I want to post what Jill said. She said she's contemplating on Jesus being moved by compassion.
Yeah.
And she's allowing compassion to move her in everyday life.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to say too, that's a good thing, Jill. A lot of us think that means I've got to feel affectionate toward people, but that is not what compassion is.
No.
Compassion is I see somebody getting ready to cross the street and there's a car coming. I know they're going to get hurt. So I may push them to keep them from getting hurt. Compassion is not an affectionate feeling.
I was in a restaurant. A man came in the door with his family, and when they sat down, they was right across from me. When I look at him or anybody, I can tell the presence, seeing or hearing from inside of me. When he sat down, it just spontaneously happened. I saw him going into surgery, and I had the notion to talk to him, and I did. I told him what was going on, and that's it's spontaneous. I don't go to bed at night waking up in the middle of the morning saying that everybody I see I'm going to talk to like this. No, but I do know that. I talk to my dog the same way. Baby girl, I talk to her about all kinds of things, and I use vibration.
She doesn't know what you're talking about, but
no, she don't know, but I think she does. But anyway, thank you so much, all of you, for standing with us and staying in the middle path of the wonderful experience of the already established Christ you are, and as Him being us, we are surely in a good place. And let me tell you something else. There is no such thing as you not being in a good place with God. You don't get in and out of this thing like your feelings may tell you. Jesus went to the Father, and He didn't go to the Father by physically leaving. He went there in attention and awareness, because He also knew that there were some people that He's going to run into that's been assigned to Him. The 4,000 to 5,000, He fed them with a miraculous bread and a loaf of bread, and fish. Be open-minded. Don't be closed-minded or boxed in with everything you've ever read in the book and in the scriptures. You know.
Well, I would like to say to you guys, be mindful of the imagery that you have going through you, especially if it's things that you don't want. Be mindful of that, because you are creating it in a dimension if you're envisioning it. So there is. I put a little video on today on Facebook, and I think I put it on YouTube as well, about being kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And if you get a chance to go look at it, it'll be good. But I've been reading Michelle Obama's book, The Light That We Carry, and she has a segment in there where she talks about this gentleman. I can't remember his name, but he just gets up in the morning, and the first thing he does is go in the bathroom and look in the mirror, and he says, "Good morning, John." He greets himself with love and kindness. And she said in the book, she said, he doesn't give his mind a chance to form an opinion or a judgment about himself. And that's good. Be kind to yourself. Be kind.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Again, you are a blessing of God, whether you feel like it or not.
Yes.
There's something about you that it's got God's attention so much and so easy that He is you listening at Himself.
Linda said she's hoping baby girl is fine.
Yeah,
we've had a very eventful week with baby girl, Linda, and it's a long story, but she's coming along. We had to take her to ER on Wednesday night.
The other doctor went.
And then Friday she was at the vet and had and so she's on antibiotics and hopefully some cough medicine, but she hasn't had a cough lately, so she's had a real bout of different things like diarrhea and all of this stuff. So we're just working with her. She's doing pretty good. Doesn't have a lot of appetite and energy a little low, but she's doing pretty good. She's still playing a little bit.
We did see online a lot of you had sent special gifts to us to support us in the monetary area. Please listen to your heart And hey, that is
I know
wonderful.
I know it's easy to
Mhm.
look at videos and
Mhm.
not do anything.
Mhm.
It's easy to listen and not make any contribution. But if you can, I would like for you to do that tonight.
Yes, please.
Just do that, and in support of the ministry. And we appreciate it so much. And we thank you guys. We'll be back again on Thursday, Lord willing, with Pastor Norman for an impromptu.
Yes, we'll be with him.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I always enjoy those
I
conversations.
want you
with
to
them.
know, in the heart of Christ, the Immaculate Conception word that is used for his mother, we carry you deliberately in the heart of God in these suits.
Yeah.
And I am that you are such a wonderful miracle, living, moving Christ, God identity, moving eternal self. You are the best thing that God could ever work with. Each one of you are all over the universe. You are very special in the love of God.
Yeah.
His love does not go toward one more than the other. But I want you guys to know, if it hadn't been for you and God as you, we wouldn't be talking online like
That's
this.
true.
So I thank
That's
you for
true.
the gift of beingness. Okay?
We love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.